The quiet breaking point for INFJ parents. The moment hope quietly dies. There is a moment many INFJ parents experience that almost no one else can see. It doesn't arrive with raised voices or dramatic conflict. It doesn't happen in the middle of an argument. And it rarely looks like a breaking point from the outside. It happens quietly. It is the moment hope, not love, begins to die. INFJ parents are natural believers in possibility. They are wired for insight, for growth, for the idea that understanding can heal what feels fractured. Even when relationships become strained, confusing, or painful, INFJ parents often carry a deeply private belief that something will shift, that clarity will emerge, that one day the distance will soften. They don't cling to hope because they are naive. They cling to hope because they are meaning makers. They see potential where others see endings. They search for patterns, context, and deeper explanations. They assume that if they can just understand well enough, communicate carefully enough, or remain patient long enough, repair is still possible. So they try. They adjust their words. They soften their tone. They reflect endlessly on what they could have done differently. They wait for conversations to land, for empathy to be reciprocated, for emotional safety to return. And for a long time, sometimes years, this hope sustains them. But hope has a limit, even for INFJs. And the breaking point is rarely caused by one defining moment. It's far more often the slow accumulation of emotional evidence. Repeated conversations that lead nowhere. Apologies that change nothing. Moments of connection followed by deeper withdrawal. Boundaries acknowledged in theory but disregarded in practice. Over time, the INFJ parent begins to notice something deeply unsettling. Nothing is actually improving. Not consistently, not meaningfully, not in a way that restores trust or stability. At first, this realization is resisted. INFJ parents tend to double down on understanding when things feel uncertain. They search for new interpretations. Maybe it's stress, maybe it's a phase, maybe I'm expecting too much. Maybe I just need to be more patient, because accepting the alternative feels devastating. What if this is not temporary? What if this is not miscommunication? What if this is simply how the relationship is going to be? The moment hope begins to die is not a decision, it is an awakening. It is the slow, painful recognition that no amount of empathy can create mutuality. That insight cannot be forced. That trying harder is no longer producing different outcomes, only deeper exhaustion. This realization cuts deeply for INFJ parents because hope was never casual. It was built from love, from memory, from the belief that emotional connection could be restored. And yet something inside them begins to grow still. They stop rehearsing future conversations in their mind. They stop searching for the perfect words that might finally unlock understanding. They stop imagining the breakthrough that never arrives, not out of anger, but out of depletion. This stage is often misunderstood by others. From the outside, the INFJ parent may appear calmer, quieter, even more detached. There may be less visible distress, less emotional urgency, but internally, something immense is unfolding. They are grieving while the relationship is still technically intact. They are mourning not just what is happening, but what they finally understand may never happen. This is one of the most painful aspects of the INFJ breaking point. Hope dies long before contact ends. By the time distance is created externally, the emotional separation has already taken place internally. The INFJ parent has slowly, reluctantly accepted a truth they fought hard not to see, that the relationship cannot become what they kept believing it could be. And when hope releases its grip, something unexpected often follows. Not rage, not bitterness, but clarity. A clarity that feels both stabilizing and heartbreaking. For the first time, the INFJ parent stops asking, "How do I fix this?" How do I explain this better? How do I keep this from breaking? And begins asking, can I live like this indefinitely? Not survive it, live it. Because INFJ parents are extraordinarily capable of enduring emotional pain. They can tolerate loneliness, misunderstanding, and grief for astonishing lengths of time. But endurance is not the same as well-being. And when the honest answer becomes no, something irreversible shifts. They may not act immediately. INFJs rarely move quickly with decisions of this magnitude. But internally, the direction has changed. Hope is no longer leading. Acceptance is. And acceptance carries a quiet finality. Not because love disappeared, but because reality has finally been faced without emotional bargaining. This is why the eventual withdrawal can appear sudden to others, because the true ending happened much earlier, in silence, reflection, and grief. The INFJ parent did not suddenly stop caring. They slowly stopped believing repair was possible, and that is a very different kind of heartbreak. If this resonates, you may recognize the strange emotional landscape that follows. Sadness mixed with relief, grief mixed with calm, loss mixed with an unfamiliar sense of peace. Because when hope finally loosens its hold, the nervous system, often for the first time in years, begins to rest. There is no more scanning for change, no more bracing for disappointment, no more exhausting cycles of anticipation and hurt. Just stillness, a stillness that may feel disorienting at first, but also merciful. The moment hope dies is not the failure of love. It is the end of hoping against emotional reality. And for many INFJ parents, it becomes the beginning of something else. The quiet, tentative return to themselves. Thank you for being here, and for honoring the quiet strength it took to get this far. If this video resonated with you, you're welcome to like and subscribe to Depth of the Quiet. You can watch quietly without any pressure to engage. And if you feel safe sharing your experience, the comments are open. If you'd like to explore these themes more deeply, you may find support in the books The Quiet Between Us and Depth of the Quiet by Latina Sidoroff, available in paperback and Kindle on Amazon. For spouses supporting an estranged parent, Standing Beside the Broken by Stas Sidoroff offers a compassionate perspective from the partner's side of the journey.